And welcome to a very special edition of Crazy Amazing Humans podcast. Jefferson, I've got the measuring tape here,
Right.
and don't touch it.
I wonder if these
Don't touch it.
sales of these are going to go through the roof, I think.
Okay.
I'll just stick up my
We are
chest.
at 6 feet. Everybody, you can see if you're watching on YouTube, we're 6 feet apart, and we've stayed that way because I got to be quite honest. I'm a little afraid of Jefferson because he's a hugger. And, we know how that goes, but we just don't know where he's been.
Yeah, I'm like a chew toy. You don't know where I've been.
We are dealing with this COVID-19, and so we are just making sure that we are staying 6 feet apart.
Right.
And we're living through very extraordinary times right now. COVID-19 is a pandemic, and that's why we believe it is more important than ever to highlight everyday humans doing crazy, amazing things. People just like you and me who are using their time, talents, and resources to give back, pay it forward, and make a difference. I'm Katrina Carlson.
And I'm Jefferson Denham. And so today we want to look at COVID-19 in a way that we hope will be beneficial to you. We're going to talk about things that you can do to keep yourself and others safe, and about stories that speak to the good that is coming out of this challenging situation, right? And some possible actions, great and small, that we could take as crazy, amazing humans to help.
Absolutely. And we're also going to share a conversation that we previously recorded with some New York-based crazy amazing humans, Kristen Hederman of Grace Delivers and Oceanscapes Photography, and Sven Lindblad of Lindblad Expeditions and National Geographic when they were here in our Santa Monica studio. This dynamic duo integrates their shared love of the ocean into efforts to educate people about modern-day challenges we face to preserve our environment, as well as how we can be good stewards of it so that it can thrive for generations to come.
Right. And we felt that this was an important story to include as a reminder that whether or not there is a worldwide health crisis, to always recognize how we need to take care of our shared environment because it affects all of us, right?
Yeah.
And as always, we want to make sure we stay connected with you. Please don't forget to write us at crazyamazinghumans@gmail.com to let us know your thoughts and your comments.
And now and always, we want to make sure we're giving you uplifting stories and helpful practical information. It is our mission to highlight the things that can inspire us and remind us that when we all come together, like we are for this pandemic, we are all crazy amazing.
I want you to feel, I want you to feel something crazy, crazy amazing.
Part 1. Look for the helpers.
As you all know, we are not doctors.
No. I
we
don't
are
think
not.
anybody would ever mistake me for
and we don't
a
play them on
doctor.
TV. It's not what we do. So
Right.
we'll stay away from getting too technical with the medical advice, since all responsible reporting on COVID-19 is ever evolving and ongoing as per the research of many crazy, amazing scientists looking for cures, vaccines, better and faster tests, and the heroic doctors and healthcare providers, of course, on the front line in hospitals and beyond. So a big shout out to all of them. We want to thank them for their incredible work, the people who are out there on the front lines. So we highly recommend going to the Center for Disease Control website, which is www.cdc.gov, as well as the World Health Organization, which is found at who worldhealthorganization.int for the most up-to-date and accurate information on COVID-19.
Right, because there's just so much misinformation out there too.
Absolutely.
So you want to make sure you're getting the right
Yep.
information. So at this point, it seems like most of the world affected by COVID-19 is trying to, quote unquote, flatten the curve. That's
Yep.
a phrase we've all heard, right?
Yep.
Which basically means slowing down the spread of the disease so as not to overwhelm hospitals or doctors and medical personnel, so that everyone who has a serious case of COVID-19 who needs treatment can get it. So let's talk about a few proactive ways that we can be doing this.
Right. So, I mean, what we're doing right now, well, what I'm doing with my family is self-quarantining. I think a lot of us are doing it right now. Our governor here in California has ordered nearly 40 million people to stay home and all the residents of California to prevent the spread of the COVID-19. And your governor or your country might also be having you take similar measures where you live. None of us want to get exposed, and none of us want to expose others to it. So it's been almost 2 weeks for us here, for our family, and it's been a bit tricky. It's been a little Twilight Zone-ish. I'm
No
not gonna
kidding,
lie.
right?
Yeah, but we're in it to win it, and we're learning a lot of good things along the
Yay.
way. We're living a simpler life. You know, everyone's pitching in with chores and cooking. My son was setting the table, and he
What?
made chocolate chip cookies last night, and our kids are all pitching in. We're taking care of ourselves, our immune system. We're having amazing family time. And our younger daughter, you know, she is being really responsible with her homeschool, with her online schooling.
Right.
And she gets herself to school in the morning. There's no carpool. And we're like doing walks and hikes. And we've just found a new appreciation for the things we took for granted. Like, I don't know, right down to like those delivery trucks that are in front of the grocery store
I
when you're
just
there in the
heard an
morning.
NPR story about
Yeah,
that very
yeah.
thing, and boy, yes, heroic.
It's
because
quite some logistics that it takes for those, and we're just really grateful for everyone who's still out there working all the time and providing things that we need, the
right,
essentials.
no doubt. And so when you do have to go to the store or just out in public, practice social distancing.
Yes.
So I was telling
The 6 feet away
Right.
rule.
So we were just talking that last night a local newscast had the anchors 6 feet apart. Now I went to the supermarket recently, and I don't know if you've noticed. Okay, we know the shelves are empty
Yeah.
on some sections, right?
For sure.
But I noticed everyone is keeping. And tell me if you've experienced this too. Everyone was keeping a healthy distance from each other, and everyone seemed to be putting in extra effort to exercise patience because there's lines. My son went to a Trader Joe's recently, and you have to register at a table, stand in a line, and then they let people in, and then they let people out. So you
Yeah.
have to exercise patience and be friendly to each other. I'm noticing that.
Yeah, people are doing that. I think it's really sweet.
We were talking about the delivery people. Thank you to the people who work in grocery stores.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're giving us all a sense of calm. I saw some story yesterday that they're all going to get a bump in pay.
Oh,
our
that's
local,
great.
Yeah, our local mayor said, if you're looking for a job, they're hiring.
Okay.
And so
Wow,
I just
for
feel
sure.
like for the most
Yeah,
part,
yeah,
there's
it's great.
more people trying
Right.
to, aspire for their better angels.
Absolutely. And, we are not forgetting hand washing, which is so basic. And
Oh my
just
gosh,
know
right?
that, it's it's something we need to do for always. And in the future, I will say it keeps the virus away. And it's literally a 20-second scrub, which everyone knows. We're singing happy birthday. We're singing different songs.
Right.
And you don't need antibacterial soap, right? You just need
No.
to wash your hands for 20 seconds. So
Right.
just do a thorough wash and dry. And yes, my hands are dry and chafed, but it's a small price to pay.
Oh, so good self-care,
Yeah.
right? We know that this is, like you said, it's always important to be washing your hands. It's always important to be, by the way, if you're looking for an excuse to quit smoking, this
Now's
is it.
the time. Yeah.
This is it. So good self-care, eat well, right? All the things you just know you should
Yeah,
do. Get rest, meditate, as your family does. Go outside for what we do too. Go
Get in the
out, that's
nature.
free.
Get in the nature. It's
Right,
fun.
and they say studies have before the pandemic. They say that these things are good for you anyway, for your mental health. So go outside, take a walk.
Yeah. And how can you relate to other people, Jefferson? Like, how are we doing that now?
Well, from 6 feet away. So
yes,
no
and
hugging.
video calls and video chats.
I saw that there was a local high school, I can't remember where, saying that, our choir concert is canceled. So I think it's through Zoom. They figured out a way to sing one of their songs, and it's up online.
Oh, that's really
so
cool.
people
I
are
love that.
being creative, and that's what people, crazy, amazing humans, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And there is a quote attributed to Fred Rogers that you might have seen floating around social media lately. And it's, quote, "When I was a boy," Mr. Roger writes, "and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.'"
The reason I love that quote so much, thank you for sharing that, is because we say, first of all, let's take a deep breath, and then let's embrace looking and celebrating the helpers, which is what we're starting to do. Like, take, for example, the NBA. Okay, we know the NBA is shut down. You may have seen that since the shutdown, many teams and individual NBA athletes, as well as individual NBA owners, are committing hundreds of thousands of dollars to assist not only the people whose livelihoods are displaced, but because of the shutdown, but also important causes in their communities.
For sure. It's remarkable how these individual basketball players and owners are spending hundreds of thousands of
I
dollars
know.
and millions of dollars really in the end to
Right,
help this
right.
crisis. It's truly inspiring, and people are coming together. And now some apartment owners are telling tenants that they'll postpone or waive their rent for the next month if the tenants find themselves suddenly unemployed.
Wow.
Some cities and municipalities are suspending foreclosures to assist people in financial distress.
Hallelujah.
There was a property owner who told a restaurant that they didn't need to pay their rent for a month if they would use the money to pay their workers who were temporarily laid off. Just amazing things have been happening, and it's heartwarming. And I do think that it does bring in this whole thing of like people coming together, and this idea of, you know, we're kind of realizing that we are a community and we need to be there for each other like never
Right.
before.
And that's one thing the coronavirus has done, is reminding us how connected we all are. And so, as we always like to say with this show, there are more stories of everyday people doing crazy, amazing things. And so we found a few that are really inspiring, like Becky Hoffler in North Carolina. She started a Facebook group to help assist elderly folks in her community who are afraid to go shopping. So she is getting a gaggle of people to go shopping for elderly folks who do not want to expose themselves.
Yes, and that
to
is
risk
really
of exposure.
very important, actually. And in Seville, Spain, which is currently on lockdown
Right.
as well, a fitness instructor named Gonzalo climbed up on a roof and led a fitness class for people quarantined in their apartments. And the residents participated from their different balconies.
see
That's
that
just
video.
really cute.
It
And by
is
the way,
so
online
awesome.
you can get like all kinds of yoga classes and everything. They've really
Right.
all gone online, and they're giving them away, I think, pretty much for free, and definitely for their members. So many classes online, which is nice. And I've been doing that with my daughters.
And
We've been doing
there's a
online
lot
classes.
of musicians who are offering free concerts, and I think we're going to try to do the
Yes.
same.
Yeah.
So we came across this other story, which I thought was cool. This is in Columbus, Ohio. I'm from Ohio. Your husband is too. A middle-aged man from Columbus, Ohio, who's a regular customer of a local bar and grill. The man who wanted to remain anonymous, he left a $2,500 tip on a $30 bill because he knew that this restaurant was going to be closed down for a while. And he said, "You must divide this equally among the servers." And the restaurant owner said that there were tears of joy because of this unbelievable act of kindness.
Wow. That is just amazing. So you all might be thinking, fellow crazy, amazing humans, what can we do to help, right? Here are a few ideas that we came up with. So we could, order takeout from local restaurants and support small businesses impacted by the coronavirus.
Exactly.
Good one. You like that? Maybe tip delivery people extra if you can. If you can tip them a little bit extra, that's good. You can throw in some if you want. Like, well, what our daughters, this do online parties, but also online fundraisers for individuals whose livelihoods might be deeply affected by the widespread shutdown.
Right.
Check in with your elderly or ill neighbors to make sure they're stocked with medication and food.
We always say this to each other. The opportunities to help out are all around us. We just have eyes to see it. So hallelujah if you are doing that.
Yes.
So
you.
another thing that we came across that we thought was interesting is that we found out that our blood supply, maybe this isn't a shock, can really use our help right now.
Yeah.
If you're able, sign up to donate blood. I just did it through the American Red Cross. I got my little badge right here.
That's very
It was
nice.
simple to do. But here's what I found out, Kat, that they were telling me that by the end of April, the Red Cross estimates that we're going to be nationwide about 80,000 units short.
Wow.
And they told me that that's because a lot of these blood drives usually are organized around schools and businesses. If you go to redcross.org, you'll see all the good it does, especially now.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I wanted to make sure that we understand that we can still be doing things,
Right.
and it was completely safe.
So also, like other ways to get involved if you can't go give blood, I got an email from a friend of mine who is involved with PATH, which is People Assisting the Homeless.
I love this.
And she's just like, hey, click on this link and pick out some things for the homeless. It gets sent straight to the organization, and they, disperse these things that you buy. So they had a link where my family and I could go online. We bought specific items, bought a bunch of stuff, and, clicked send. And, we know that toilet paper and this and that, whatever, we got. And by the way, it was about a week and a half ago. So there was still a lot of stuff that we could get. I was like, oh, I can get them this and that and that. And it was a great kind of hands-on way, to feel when you're in quarantine, hands-on, to actually go, oh, I'm giving specific things, and I know these are going to go to people who need it.
I love that.
So that was really, really
and
awesome.
a lot of times, do you think, a lot of times we're sitting here thinking, I'm not doing enough. And all you need to do is that.
Yeah, you can
and
do
you can
that.
make a huge difference.
You can.
Right?
Yes, you can.
So we love our crazy, amazing humans community.
Yes, we do.
And we know that, you are all creative and inspiring, and you're probably finding additional ways to help. So if you happen to have any suggestions that we could share with our community, please email us at crazyamazinghumans@gmail.com so we can pass these ideas along. And Mr. Rogers, love Mr. Rogers, had said, look for the helpers, right?
That's right.
And so there are always helpers. And as a crazy, amazing humans community, let's you and I be helpers, shall we?
Yes, let's
Shall
do that.
we?
Let's say, won't you be my helper? Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
Right.
And I love this excerpt. And Jefferson, you brought this to my attention from J.R.R. Tolkien. And my son, I read it to him last night. He's like, I know that one. That's okay. It's from Fellowship of the Ring, and it seems very appropriate for now. I love it. It goes like this. I wish it need not have happened in my time, said Frodo. So do I, said Gandalf. And so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this clip. Be sure to watch the full episode by clicking the link in the description.
Right. And don't forget to like this video and then subscribe to our channel. Oh, and click on the bell icon so we can let you know when we post a new video.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
See you next time.